La da 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 da. I should really have my scarf on, shouldn't I? I'm not going to put my scarf on. I could put my scarf on. I'm not going to. Where is it? It's in there. So I'm not got my scarf on. Never mind. So let's set this up. we have Sky Sports 4-0. My God, Ipswich got trounced. Didn't realise Ipswich got trounced this lunchtime. Funny enough, I was thinking Leeds would win that, but there's a few. Oh, geez, really? Okay, my phone had turned off last night, so wait for it to come back on. So who do we have again? We have Leeds Ipswich 4-0. That leaves it quite interesting at the top, doesn't it? I mean, when did this go? 8 minutes, 25 minutes own goal, 45 minutes penalty, and a 52-minute per hour. Yeah. It certainly makes it quite interesting with that second place, doesn't it? It means now that Leeds are 7 points behind Ipswich, and they've only lost one more game. So it's starting to look like. I don't know, can we see the stats now? I don't think you can, but yeah, certainly Ipswich is starting to falter a little bit. I don't know if anybody else would think it, but when a team comes up from the bottom, the league below, and then they start doing really well, I see a lot of them who get just too cocky and too overconfident. And I think Plymouth fans were getting that way as well. I don't think that the Plymouth players were, but certainly I think the Plymouth fans were. Aren't we good? Aren't we good? We're not going to. There's no chance of us going down. There isn't, I don't think. But the cockiness and the confidence that's in there can sometimes play a part if it gets down to the player level. And this is where I say I don't think Plymouth has. I don't think it's got as far as the players. But in Ipswich's case, I think it has. I think that they've got a little bit too cocky. They got a little bit too confident. And now what we're seeing is just the odd slip up. And like when they drew 2-2 to Rotherham, and you're thinking, that wasn't what they were expecting. They came there expecting to win. And much like Leeds may have gone to Ipswich expecting to win, but they did. Sometimes it can play in the opposite hand. But that's certainly interesting. Southampton are 3 points behind. So who do we have? Blackburn versus Watford. Let's have a look at Blackburn versus Watford, shall we? I think that Blackburn lost 4-0 away at Southampton. Actually, Southampton not playing that well, so that's actually quite a surprise. Bristol City, they won. They're up and down. Leeds, they lost 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday, they lost 3-1 to Sheffield Wednesday of all teams. They're actually not doing too well, are they? Three defeats and a win in the last 4. One of which was to Sheffield Wednesday. They're at home though. Away, away. And then we have Watford, who are just rock solid mid-table. Just a rock solid mid-table. They won 5-1 against Preston, but then they won 5-0 against Rotherham, and they couldn't score afterwards. not, they didn't sort of bring that momentum into the next games. So I don't know. They do seem to score every game, apart from Leicester 6 games ago. I think that it's going to be a close one, but I think that Watford will have the ability to get past that one. I think Watford are going to be a pretty good team today. Leicester Rotherham, I think, is going to be a walkover. I'm a Rotherham fan. Shouldn't be saying that, but I think with 2 red cards in 2 games, I am. We haven't won for about 18 months, I think, something like daft like that, away from home. We haven't won at home for that long either. No, away from home, it's about 18 months. So I think that will be probably a 4-0 to Leicester, I think. They didn't play very well at Rotherham a few weeks ago. The fixtures have basically been reversed. So I think we will see a pretty convincing win for Leicester. Borough West Brom. Now this is interesting because I just don't see. I don't know. I just don't see Borough West Brom being an exciting game. Borough seem to have turned it round a little bit recently. They've had their little bit of a losing streak. Will we see them? Will we see them starting to come back? So it's quite even, this one. I'm going to go Borough. I'm just sort of. It could be a draw, could be Borough. I can't see West Brom really doing that well. I don't think they will be. Neither team will run away with it. I don't think. I'm just got Bet365 on one side, and I've got so I've got Bet365 that side. I've got Sky Sports here. I think that I think Borough. To be honest, I just cannot see. Just can't see them. I don't know. I go with Borough. Very difficult decision. Go with Borough. I wish people had stopped ringing. Why do the people have to start texting me? Fuck off. So you log on to Bet365 and it immediately starts sending you loads of fucking texts. Bugger off. Please spend your money. Yeah. Norwich versus Huddersfield. Now this is interesting because I've been looking at Norwich and they've been pretty poor all season, but they have started to get a little bit better over the last few games, and I just at least playing a bit better, even if the scores haven't been that great. I think I think they'll win this one. Um, it's difficult because yeah, 3 goals against Wednesday, that was good, and they have a similar defensive nature to Huddersfield in that they put loads and loads at the back to try and stop them from scoring. I think we'll see. I think we'll see a good marginal win, 2-0. I'll go to Ipswich. We better get through these quick. So we just started Plymouth versus Birmingham. I actually think that's gonna. Plymouth are gonna win because I think Plymouth are just so good at home. Really are good at home. They tend to score about 3 goals at home, and I'll go for a 3-1 win to Plymouth. QPR Southampton. No, not surprisingly, I'll go for a Southampton win. Make sure there's no goals going in yet. Nope. And Sheffield Wednesday versus Cardiff. I think Sheffield Wednesday will win it. Stoke City, Millwall, I think will be a Stoke City. Ooh, I think that's going to be a draw, I think that's going to be a draw. And Sunderland, Coventry, I'll stick my neck out with a Sunderland win. So let's see. Put my glass down there as all the scores start coming out. What do we think, guys? What do we think? So I'm just going to put a little bit of a bet on my side. 14-1. That's not a bad bet. So that's one bet done. As we start to see the games unfold. So we have the Premiership. 1, 2, 4 games there. Fulham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, and Tottenham. Interesting games will be Forest versus Bournemouth. In fact, all of them, because you've got Fulham versus Burnley. Obviously, Burnley desperate for the points. You've got Luton versus Newcastle, with Luton desperate for the points. We've got a goal in the Championship. We have a goal in the Championship. It's Blackburn. Blackburn within 2 minutes. So it's Blackburn 1, Watford 0. So is that the first goal in the Championship? Yep, that's the first goal in the Championship. Quick look down to League One just to see what League One's doing. No goals in League One. We have a goal in the Championship. Let's just quickly go into the Championship and we'll see whoever's there. Who do you support? Please put your who you support in there. I'm going to be going through this with. I've got Sky. I've got the Sky app there. I've got my Bet365 here. Who would let me in? So Blackburn have just scored. It will not let me into the game, just to be a pain in the arse. We'll be playing one of the games on Bet365 in a minute. And you may be able to hear it on the computer. If my phone doesn't quit, there's no other goals at the minute. My side is Rotherham United, so we haven't won away for I think about 17 months now, so it's well over a year, nearly a year and a half. Yeah, oh dear, yeah. I've got the same, haven't I? I've left my scarf out there. I'm thinking, no, I'm not admitting to be a Rotherham fan. We haven't won away for about 17 months, so I really am getting a bit a bit naffed off with it. But we have to support us. Yeah, I was born in Rotherham. I now live on the south coast, but it's like I was I was born there. I'm gonna choose my hometown team to support, even if they are they goddamn awful. I've got a question for you. I've got a question for you, Martin, because I always have a keen eye on Millwall. Now, 2 seasons ago, if you ever went to the Den, you were almost sure to get either slaughtered or not have a very good time. And then last season it swapped round. All of a sudden it was like, actually you can beat Millwall at home, but you can't beat them when they're away. And this season seems to be being the same. Like, why? What the hell happened between 2 years ago, or last season, and this season? why has the Den suddenly become completely? Well, it's become beatable, and it's like it never was. People always looked at the Den as being totally impossible. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's just weird, isn't it? Like it's one of those places that people say, well, oh, you're going to the Den this weekend. Oh, forget that then. And the whole thing just seemed to have flipping phones just died. The whole thing just seemed to stop, and people were thinking, well, actually, they're now beatable. But all right, we're in. So it's Adam Wharton for Blackburn, and Blackburn are actually still on the attack. The stats, 57% play to Blackburn, so it's not too far away. Let's see if we can find one of the games with commentary. We'll try and put some commentary on. If I go for one of the Premiership ones, usually if I go for the Premiership one, I can press that. And which game have we got? Oh, look which Championship team it is. It's Stoke versus Millwall. So if I just click that
on his own,
and that,
we'll bend this one in. Outswinger with the left foot.
So as it happens, Martin,
he's rather short this time, headed away by the first man. Still not properly.
If I put
from Stoke City, but it
that
break around that left-hand
to
side,
that side of the computer, we have Bet365 now playing the
trying to keep it sensible. Fleming, who was
trying to play your game. It's playing your game, actually, so you'll be able to listen to your game. Oh, 10 years, my God. Yeah, I've been down here I've been on the south coast since 2007. And it's I've spent time in Germany and Switzerland, and you sort of get used to getting to this time of day, and you're thinking, right, okay, let's see if there's any watch-alongs on the internet, and just sit in there and listen to them. Stevenage have scored away at Barnsley in League One. My God, Bolton are already 2-0 up against Leyton Orient. So they're chomping at the bit behind Portsmouth, who are still 0-0. I didn't realise Accrington Stanley were back down in League Two, 1-0 away at home to Walsall.
Space at the moment to get it in. Eventually, it's out of play off Norton Coffey, the goal scorer last week.
Well, you can listen to it.
Out of play for a Stoke City throw. 9 minutes gone.
So that's the one that's on now is the Stoke Millwall game.
Everton by a goal to 0.
What was that? Oh, Tottenham are winning Everton 1-0. Yeah. So that's a goal in the Premiership. That's going to be interesting because the news is that that Everton might actually get another points deduction for something else that they've done. But I can't see the point. Are they just
by Mitchell?
Because they fine them 10 points, Everton, yeah. They're not going to do the same with Manchester City. They'll probably go soft. And they gave them 10 points, and then they've got straight out of the relegation zone within 2 games. Is it? Are they just would they just be giving them another 10 points just because they know damn well they're going to get out of it and everything will be okay?
10-minute mark.
Oh my God! I've done that. I've done that before. Yeah, I've done that before. And then you wake up and what was the score of that game we were just watching? Oh dear. Oh well, you just listen to the game then, mate. Lad. You'll be fine.
On his own at the moment, can he keep the ball in play? Well, he gets his foot to it, but no real space on that right hand side.
So we've still just got Blackburn, Watford.
Happy for the ball just to bounce
with
out
the
of
goal.
Cooper was there with him. Couldn't get to it
In the Premiership, we still just have Tottenham 1, Everton 0. And
Wallace has taken already. He quickly slows down those. The ball comes back to him.
Let's go to my team. Let's have a quick look at my team. And at the moment, it's Leicester City, Rotherham. Oh my God, Leicester City have 85% of play. They've already had 2 shots on goal. And are encamped in the Rotherham area.
Solid start from his side so far.
Plymouth, Birmingham. What's going on at Plymouth, Birmingham? The odds will be removed.
And Millwall win the ball back, and they transition quickly here. They'll try and do so through the centre, through Fleming again. He plays it out towards Wallace on this left-hand side. Rolls it down the line. This bit has pulled away left-hand edge of the box. Wants to get on his right foot. Tries to flick it with the outside of the boot. Not particularly successful. There were just too many defenders in front of him. He's been having a bit of an inquest.
I hate it when it does that.
A couple of players who were in the centre as if to say, well, what exactly do you want me to do? As Millwall take a throw in. Ball played back in towards the penalty area. It's cleared away. Come back to Cooper on the left-hand side. He spins it inside to Mitchell. Back to Cooper again. There's no real space.
Yeah.
Defending in numbers here down there left.
It's not right. It's not right. Because it's Manchester City. They'll just get away with it, or they'll give them such a low points deduction that it really doesn't make any difference because they know they can get out of it, and they know they'll get all the points they need to get back into the top half anyway.
At the moment, Millwall, after an early bright start from Stoke, have started to take a little bit of control of possession.
Well, Millwall are taking control, apparently, so it's Stoke on the attack at the minute. But no, and Wallace grabs it for Millwall, passes it down the left-hand side, back down to Fleming.
Left-hand side, where it's picked up by Wallace. Wallace into Fleming, back to Wallace again. No real space, though. Is he brought down? Yes, he is. Challenge comes in by Hoover. Therefore, it will be a free kick to the Lions.
Free kick to Millwall. Right. It's a good position, this, actually. Quite nice, nicely positioned for a quick whipping from the left.
To get the ball into the penalty area.
So that's what's happening at Stoke.
Championship game under Joe Edwards, of course, 4-0 Millwall. But since then, as we said, no wins in 6, just a couple of draws in there that have sunk them down the table, rather towards the bottom 3. A free kick here, then. It's lifted long into the area by Saville. It is won by a Millwall head, but it was under pressure. It doesn't go towards goal, but goes away in the end. And Stoke able to tidy up. Whoever wants to play a long ball downfield right-footed, but it just drops into a place where there's only blue shirts, although the header away is not the best either. But Millwall have picked up possession, but there's a bit of holding back on this occasion, says the referee. Saville tracking the Stoke man back. He inevitably claims not. His arms
Let's have a look.
outstretched
Let's
to
go
say
for
what
Sheffield
needed,
Wednesday.
sure
Let's
not.
see what Sheffield Wednesday are doing.
In a good position to give the decision.
At the minute, Sheffield Wednesday have it in defence.
It will be a free kick to Stokes. They've taken
Cameron
it already,
Dawson
but gone
passing it
backwards
around the back.
towards their own
Babby
defenders. Rose and McNally play the ball between each other,
Fame.
which
Oh
eventually
my
works
God,
purely on the right-hand
Fame.
side. He almost allows the ball to run
Jesus.
out of play before he plays it
I wish we
back
had
in.
some
Rather
English names in
short
the
ball
English
for
league.
McNally that forces him to quickly step in. It's all rather messy.
The
Gotta
thing
be
with
said,
Sheffield Wednesday is
these
they're
first
playing
15
it along the
no
back
real
again.
chances for either side. Stoke 0, Millwall 0.
They tend to lose it when they play it
Wide
along
on
at the
left-hand
back.
side, but again, Norton
But
Coffey is very advanced downfield from Millwall down that
they kick
right-hand
it forward
side.
and lose it
He gets the
immediately
challenge
to Cardiff on the halfway line.
in, win the ball
As soon as
back,
they try
such,
getting
which
it out, and
forces Stoke to go back towards their own defence.
see, Cardiff are
Stephen
like
Schumacher's
pushing back and in,
former
back
side.
and in. They keep
And
trying to
themselves a goal down at Home Park.
just
Birmingham
trying to
City have taken the lead there.
try and get into that into a
Birmingham
gap.
1. Free kick in our
But
game, challenged by
they
Hardy.
don't seem to be able to
Nine.
get much past that
Therefore, it will be a quickly taken free kick,
2/3
pretty much
of
by
the way down.
Hunters. Midway down the right-hand side, ball flicked into
Tottenham
Lemmy
are
again,
still
but
winning 1-0.
hooked away from him, bouncing around on the edge of the
Still
penalty.
Blackburn 1,
Kind of
Watford
tidied
0.
up by Wallace.
Yeah, the
Yes,
foreign
head
fella,
to
yeah.
get it all the way back to,
Oh God, some of
Sarkic.
these bloody names are absolutely impossible. Oh, we've got to get. Yeah, we have got a goal at Plymouth.
For Birmingham at
It's
Plymouth.
Plymouth 0, Birmingham 1.
Post Schumacher era for them, not starting particularly well for the Pilgrims.
So they lose the manager, and they're now losing against
15 minutes.
this famous Birmingham side that can't even win Rotherham. Stevenage is still winning away at Barnsley. Bolton are now 3-0 up at home to Leyton Orient, so that's going to be an interesting finishing scoreline. When they played 15 minutes.
It's all rather frantic, all rather messy as the ball.
The only goal in League Two is Accrington Stanley, who are they 1, Walsall 0.
But no real outlet further forward, and they have to turn around and come back towards the
Birmingham,
halfway line here.
If we go to the Birmingham game then, and we'll have a look at the...
Honeyman from right to left across the defence, but he gets far too much. They get rather far too much.
Stansfield that's got Stansfield that's got the goal. Puts Birmingham in 15th with Plymouth in 18th on 26. But that still leaves Plymouth a good 5 points ahead of the relegation zone. Can't see them being in trouble. Seeing as you're here, where have we got Millwall? I've lost Millwall. Oh, yeah. 23 points in 20th position at the minute. So they'll be hoping that Huddersfield and QPR don't get anything. And at the minute, Huddersfield, QPR, Huddersfield, well, they're away at Norwich, so there's not much chance of that. QPR at home against Southampton, so there's not much chance of that either. So I think Millwall are probably, we'll say probably safe, but QPR have actually been scoring some pretty decent wins of late.
2-0 in that game. Nothing else to come in our match so far. Challenge comes in here. Referee is onto it quickly. Pressed by the challenge of Mitchell. It's going to be a yellow card.
Yellow card. The Bet365 put a stop to the Stoke Millwall game on bets. They only do that if they think there's going to be a possibility of a red card. But they just handed out a yellow card.
Just caught the player a little on the follow through.
That's that.
No major damage done.
So Blackburn 1-0 up.
They will have a free kick.
Adam Wharton on 3 minutes.
Midway inside the Millwall half.
Puts Blackburn on 34 points in 8th position.
Defensive Millwall line about 2 yards outside their penalty area.
No, there's a huge gap. I mean, I said at the beginning of the season, I did a quick pre-season. I did 2 pre-season estimates, predictions, and I was predicting that the top 4 teams would be about 7 or 8 points by halfway ahead of everybody else, and that the bottom 4 would be probably starting to get well adrift by Christmas.
Somehow finds its way into the penalty area. And he drops the ball back again onto the edge of the box. Plenty of players round in a red and white shirt.
Yeah, and to be honest, there's a huge gap between. I mean, if you look down at the bottom, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, QPR, Huddersfield, those 4 really are pretty dire. And I really, Huddersfield have started winning 1 or 2, but then they've stopped. QPR are on their winning streak. So they've suddenly won about 4 out of 6 or something like that, which is dangerous for the ones into 18th, 19th, 20th. But are they good enough to carry on? Probably not. We all know that in the Championship, clubs tend to have about a game of about 6 games where they play poorly, and then they'll have a stint somewhere about 6 or 7 games where they play really well and don't seem to be able to lose. I just don't see those 4 at the bottom changing. I think that Huddersfield, QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham will probably be roughly like that at the end of the year, end of the season, and probably in that very same order. So let's go to Sunderland. Let's have a look at Sunderland. We'll go and have a look at Sunderland. Oh, QPR. Yeah, well, we've got what have we got? I think we've got Middlesbrough. I don't know how they think that's a local game. I really don't. They try and put local games in. I can see QPR and Millwall, yeah, but Rotherham and Millwall, is that really local? Coventry seem to be doing rather well at Sunderland. I didn't think they would be quite doing like that, but at the minute they're actually doing well. So what we've got, Sunderland have actually got 60% of possession, but at the minute, at this very moment in time, Coventry seem to be coming back quite well, keeping them. They're stopping the ball from getting into their defence. When you said that, Sunderland have just gone straight on the attack. And now we've got Sunderland coming back. Neil Huggins. It's quite to and fro. It looks quite a good game. The Sunderland Coventry game looks quite exciting. I think if you were a neutral at the Sunderland Coventry game, you'd probably be enjoying it quite a lot. It's there's a lot of good hard tackling, and it's going from end to end. No, it is not going to be hard. Every game for us is going to be bloody impossible. I mean, we couldn't even win against Sheffield Wednesday when they were rock bottom, for God's sake. We gave them the first win. So, and Coventry have a shot on goal, and it's gathered by the goalie. Nottingham Forest, red card. The game between Spurs and Everton. Spurs have scored. Let's see how many times it lets me in. So let's see who's got. If it tells me who's got the red card. The number of games we have after 25 minutes, we have 2 goals. Forest player. Oh, there's been Rising Castle. That's okay. That's something else. That was a good goal then. Plymouth 0, Birmingham 1. Not telling me who's got the red card at Forest, but Bowley's got a yellow. Whether it's 2 yellows for Bowley. Oh, it is. It's 2 yellows for Bowley. So Bowley's got 2 yellows for Nottingham Forest, and they're now 0-0 at home to Bournemouth with 10 men. And Tottenham have scored against Everton. to make it 2-0.
Or it's a whack on the head. They managed to stop the bleeding at least for the moment.
So it's still just those two games in the championship.
Blood flow that might come.
Oh, I hate it when they get games like this.
Of course, there's been a friendly fire on that occasion, unfortunately, for Lloris, as he goes off to the sideline. Looks to be okay.
Yeah,
The initial pain and the cut has been tidied up.
Yeah.
Around the eye area. It shouldn't cause him any problems. The referee gets us back on the
it's
way.
one of the. We had like we always go. So we lost. Our manager walked and went to Derby last year, in October, and then he gets the Exeter City manager in, a low level League One manager, stroke League Two, and all he ever did was play triangular football. Okay, you have a nice night, and I'll just give you the odds before you drop off. So at the minute, Stoke City are 7-5 on for the win, 2-1 for the draw, and then Millwall are 9-4 again. So take that with you while you drop off to sleep, and have a nice night. I try and do this every Saturday, so you can come on next Saturday if you want. I don't mind. I just rant to myself anyway, so if you come on, you can listen. And
Newcastle nil in the early stages of that game.
Yeah, Luton 1, Newcastle 0. That's just gone in. So, thank you very much, Martin. Have a nice night. So we've still got Blackburn 1, Watford 0, Leicester 0, Rotherham 0, Middlesbrough 0, West Brom 0, Norwich 0, Huddersfield 0, Plymouth 0, Birmingham 1.
The pressure of the ball not quite right, so a change it is.
I think it sounds like the commentator in the game. If you listen to him, seems quite bored to me. Yeah, have a nice night. God bless. QPR 0, Southampton 0, Wednesday 0, Cardiff 0, Stoke 0, Millwall 0, and Sunderland 0, Coventry 0. In League One, we have a Blackpool 1, Bristol Rovers 1, with Bristol Rovers as new manager. Bolton 3, Leyton Orient 0 still. Charlton 1, Burton Albion 0, Carlisle 0, Cheltenham 1. I think that's all there is in there.
Millwall half before Berger finally lifts the ball into the area. Easy though for Wallace. Unmarked, he heads away from inside his
and our friend disappears. Good night, Martin.
Goes all the way out of play for a throw in. Gooch will come forward to take midway inside.
So we are back in the hunt for some goals, I think. Let's have a look, and we'll go down. I would say the most 70-30 now at Leicester City. So Rotherham is starting to pull a little bit back. No attempts on goal, but
Stoke City have got players back in numbers, but Mitchell has kept possession for the Lions at least. Well, he's forced back to Norton Cuffy inside his own half, and in turn back to Leonard, who in turn turns away to Sarkic. Plays the ball back to his
Sheffield Wednesday have scored against Cardiff. That is going to change the bottom quite drastically. That is going to be quite that's going to suddenly change here. That's going to be a 6-point gap to Rotherham at the bottom. 6-point gap to Rotherham at the bottom, which is not going to be good for any Rotherham fans. I think that is going to be quite disastrous.
Wednesday open the scoring at Hillsborough against Cardiff.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 0. Anthony Musaba with the goal for the Owls.
So that's that.
Free kick in our game. Stoke City against Millwall. Independent off
Coventry away at Sunderland. It's Sunderland have now narrowed the odds to evens.
Under new management of Stephen Schumacher. His first game as gaffer.
So we have. Let's go down here at the Bolton. The interesting one with the Bolton is that Bolton are so. They keep making getting odd results. So Bolton will suddenly push forward and they'll sort of have a really shit couple of results. And then they'll just trounce them like they are today. 15 minutes in and they were 3-0 up. So, what are they going to get? 12-0? Hey,
no signs of any blood, no signs of any concussion issues for him either, which is
you do worry for the teams they're playing. Sometimes Leighton Orient, which
from Hoover, as he tried to turn an overhead kick,
not a great side.
His own man.
Trying to see if there's anything in there that's of different. No. Birmingham still. Oh, and we've got a blank odds at Leicester City. That's usually saying something's happened. If it is, it's Leicester City because they're the only ones with 2 shots on target. Leicester City does look like Leicester City are in the attack. However, something's happened. There's no yellow cards in there. Timeline. No, very interesting. Nothing seems to be happening. I think Leicester City are that far in the driving seat that Bet365 have just removed all betting from it. And it's strange, they don't usually do that, but they do appear to have.
Keep possession though, just rolls it out to that left hand side.
I think Rotherham will be lucky. They've waited until Rotherham eventually get the ball before pulling the odds back, and it's 4.5 to 1 for Leicester City to win, and 16 to 1 against Rotherham. So it's gone from 12 to 1 to 16 to 1. My cash out at the minute on £1 is 37p.
Dropped in defence, force for Millwall.
So that's that.
Straight away back to Stoke.
Oh, blimey! I mean, why does the Rotherham goalkeeper kicks it out? Lands somewhere in the centre circle. But it lands straight at the foot of an Ipswich, a Leicester City player who boots it straight back at him. And it's just phenomenal how the ball just doesn't even get to the Rotherham player. And you're like, why? So Fulham 0, Burnley 0, Luton 1, Newcastle 0, 10-man Nottingham Forest 0, Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Everton 0, and then into the Championship, Blackburn 1, Watford 0, Leicester City 0, Rotherham 0, Middlesbrough 0, West Brom 0, Norwich City 0, Huddersfield Town 0, Plymouth 0,
tidied up by Millwall.
Birmingham 1, QPR 0, Southampton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 0, Stoke City 0, Millwall 0, and Sunderland 0, Coventry 0. It's now Barnsley 1,
vaguely
Stevenage
in
1.
Millwall's favour, but it's been a very even game so
As it
far.
was
It's all been played
Blackpool 1,
about 25 yards out from one
Bristol
goal,
Rovers
25
1,
yards out from the other goal.
Bolton 3, Leyton Orient 0 still. Cheltenham are winning, Charlton are winning. Oh, Reading are winning at home to Wigan.
Inside their own half of the field, Rose spins away from one challenge.
So,
long downfield.
Question is, where do we go? Blackburn 1, Watford 0. Let's go to see a Norwich City. We're going to go to Norwich City now while it plays the Stoke City game. Norwich City are in the attack. They're bouncing it around from side to side in midfield at the minute, and it's really going back and across and back to the other side. It's now down the left side, so it's now, and they lose it, and it's in for a throw in to Huddersfield, who then give it away, and it's back to Huddersfield, and then they're down the right hand side. They're circling it around the right hand side over to the left, but they lose it, and it's with Norwich City's right hand side, who immediately lose it. It's a Huddersfield throw right near the edge of the box, but they throw it backwards. Interesting. Giordani in sort of attacking midfield area. Pushes it forward, but Duffy finds it, gives it to Nunez, and Norwich can build. And he shoots. Oh, Ashley Barnes just off target. But where's it going to go? It's bloody hell. It's just bouncing around between people now, being blocked, and then bouncing away. That's another shot on target, but just bounces away. And it's belted up the line by Huddersfield, gathered in defence, and Norwich can push it forward. So what's the stats on that? It's the XG is 0.53 for Norwich and 0.07 for Huddersfield. 60% to 40% in favour of Norwich.
Some comfortable defending, really, just to make sure that the Stoke City player couldn't find any space.
So, what have we got? We've still got Birmingham winning at Plymouth.
Not too much power on it. It was high enough up for Sarkic to
make a still have Sheffield Wednesday winning at home to Cardiff. Cardiff are in the attack with Perry NG, back to Bowler, back to Siopis, Collins, he shoot but gives it straight to the goalie. So it's Wednesday goal kick.
Did win their last game at the Bet365 Stadium, Millwall.
Oh.
First time they got a consecutive away league wins against
Here we go.
For 30 years.
Where's the Sheffield Wednesday goalie going to plant this kick?
From Millwall point of view, they've been delighted with the defending that they've done.
Plant it nowhere. Oh, wowza. What the hell did he do there? He actually lost it in the box to a Cardiff player, and then sort of tackling between the goalie and the Cardiff player, and ricochets up the pitch. Joe Ralls then has a shot for Cardiff.
Got a game where both teams have scored in the championship so far.
We are indeed at this game, Sheffield Wednesday. It's 37 minutes and 59 seconds, 38 minutes, and it's still 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. And at the minute, it's just a case of probably a corner. We're just deciding on it. We'll come away from that one. It's still Luton Town 1, Newcastle 0, Tottenham 2, Everton 0, and Nottingham Forest 10-man 0, Bournemouth 0.
Birmingham get a second goal
Yeah, Birmingham have indeed got a second goal at Plymouth. That's an interesting one. Middlesbrough have just scored against West Brom, so it's Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 0.
Birmingham. Millwall will take their time.
We're starting to see a couple of goals now. We're starting to see it. Whoa, didn't want that. Need to bet on Sheffield Wednesday. Oh dear.
Lifts the ball forward
So
down the right-hand side. Norton Coffey will go up for it, but doesn't really get there in the end, and it's out of play.
We are
Kevin Nisbet, and it will be a throw-in to Stoke, deep inside the half of the field, though.
Middlesbrough have scored, so they're now the odds now start trotting around, and we Middlesbrough now 2-1 on.
Rogers rather has scored for Middlesbrough.
Rogers scoring for Middlesbrough.
Millwall in possession, a rare foray into the Stoke half. A long ball forward, it's too far surely, but he should get there first, although he does rather overrun.
Interesting thing is that as I go back to Rotherham, is that they were on 12-1 against, then they were on 15-1 against, they're now on 14-1 against, so they're still not likely to score, but they do appear to be, they are. They're coming back 69% to 31%. No shots on goal for Rotherham. 5 corners for Leicester City, so they're implanted in their own half. So Rotherham are definitely under the cosh. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Let's have a look. 40 minutes. We can probably pull that back if we can get into here. Let's just do that. I think we see it here. There we are.
Comes across and collides with Cooper. I think it is. Yeah, Jay Cooper.
Pull that back in.
The man who was in there, the Millwall captain.
So we have Sunderland 0, Coventry 0. That looks quite a. It's really. It is all Sunderland. But Coventry have some really good breaks at the minute, and they're really pushing for that. That one goal that they. I mean, they only need a game's. Yeah, a game can hinge on that one goal. And if Coventry can nick that one goal on the break, then they're certainly trying it. They're certainly trying it. I think for 3 1/3 to 1, 10 to 3 odds. It's not a bad set of odds. That 3 and a bit to 1 for a team that are they're quite well in. I think it was about 60-40 in possession. But Coventry were using that 30% really well. So I would have to say that that's probably a good set of odds for how Coventry are playing. We've got a goal for Plymouth. So Plymouth are now Plymouth 1, Birmingham 2.
2 minutes to go to the break. Stoke 0, Millwall 0. Southampton have opened the scoring against Queen's Park Rangers. QPR 0, Southampton 1.
Missed that one. QPR 0, Southampton 1. So that's interesting news for Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, if we look at the bottom of the league,
pulled one back against Birmingham, 3 goals in the game at home park.
Don't know if that's got. Let's see if that's got. Let's just want to see if the goal is. Yeah, that's QPR's goal is in here. So that puts Sheffield Wednesday literally a point behind QPR and just 4 points away from safety, which is pretty much.
Unfortunately for the referee, it actually ended up with the feet of Johnson, so he stopped a little too early, unfortunately. But it wasn't
quite good for them.
For Stoke.
Sheffield Wednesday will be the ones that at the minute are chomping at the bit. They certainly will be thinking that that they are
with McNally, he holds off Nisbet, plays it forward,
doing so much better now.
And again, it's McNally who comes out on top.
Hate to admit it, but they are.
Millwall striker. It's worked across the Lyndon Gooch. Midway inside the
so what do we have? We have Plymouth 1, Birmingham 2. I was going to say Blackpool, I don't know why. Sheffield Wednesday, Cardiff. Let's have a look at that. That's about to finish for half time. Sheffield Wednesday have another shot on goal.
First half. Reached the 45-minute mark. The indication of how much stoppage time to be played.
Shots. One shot, one goal for Wednesday. Well, one shot on target, one goal for Wednesday. 4 shots total for Wednesday. 2 shots for Cardiff. 56% to 44%. So it's not actually that one-sided. So it is quite interesting. It's not as one-sided as what it was at the beginning. Middlesbrough still winning 1-0 at home to West Brom as they go into the 46th minute. Blackburn 1, Watford 0. Sunderland. That was the boring one at the bottom. Yeah, Coventry. Like I said, Coventry were on the. They kept trying the break, and they look quite dangerous on the break. And they have actually scored. So it's Sunderland 0, Coventry 1. And they are Sunderland are by far got the most play. It's just that they just weren't converting the chances that they got, and the pressure just doesn't look like it's going to work for them. Although still another half yet to go, so Stoke City 0, Millwall 0, 46 minutes. So 1 minute of the 6 minutes added time.
For the Millwall manager as to how his side really can get a foothold in this game. As we said, they started at 0-0, so no crisis at all for Millwall, but then a sort of 5-10 minute spell midway through the half.
So
really had any lengthy possession, certainly not
we are Plymouth 1, Birmingham 2, QPR 0, Southampton 1. Who's going to go into that? Lyndon Dykes has it for QPR, and they're playing it down the middle. It looks at it.
First corner of the game for either side, actually.
Yellow card for QPR.
I don't remember seeing one.
I will notice that they keep and a yellow card for Southampton. That looks a bit like a fight, doesn't it? And the odds disappeared on Bet365, which seems to suggest they were thinking they could both get sent off. So that's that. Let's see who is playing shortly. So we have tomorrow. We have Sunday. We have Wolves versus Chelsea. Monday, Christmas Day, obviously nothing. And we have a full set of games on Boxing Day. There's only 3 games with 0-0 now. We have Preston Leeds. I'm going to plump with a Preston win. Millwall QPR. I'm going to plump with a 0-0. Cardiff Plymouth. I'm going to go with a Cardiff win. Coventry Wednesday. I'm going to go with a Wednesday win. Huddersfield Blackburn. I'll go with a Blackburn win. Hull versus Sunderland. I'm going to go with a Hull win. Rotherham Borough, I'll go with a 1-1. Southampton Swansea, I will go with a Southampton win. You know something? I'm not. I'm going to go with a 1-1. And then Watford, Bristol City. I'll go with a difficult a draw. And West Brom, Norwich. I will go with West Brom to just keep one or two of those wins coming in. Birmingham, Stoke, Birmingham City. Ipswich, Leicester. I'll go with Leicester City.
The referee does bring the first half to an end, so it's defenders on top in the first 45
who's on half time before we go off for a break? We have got Blackburn 1, Watford 0, half time. Leicester City 0, Rotherham 0, half time. Middlesbrough 0, West Brom 0. God, Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 0, half time. I'm thinking of just getting rid of the commentary for now, so that it doesn't. It start the thing with Bet365 is the commentary starts going into a loop. So I didn't want to start getting into the middle of that. So we'll start at where we were just finishing there. Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 0, half time. Norwich 0, Huddersfield 0, half time. Plymouth 1, Birmingham 2. Plymouth seem to be playing this game of kick the ball out, and I think they had 15 minutes of extra time against Rotherham at Plymouth, and now they're already into their 6th minute. Shall we see what extra time they've been given? 8 minutes of extra time. It's absolutely ridiculous. Plymouth just seem to be playing that horrible get it out the ground. Same as certain other teams did a couple of years ago. But they're losing 1-2 to Birmingham. QPR 0. Southampton 1, half time. In fact, all the others are half time. So Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 against Cardiff. 0-0 Stoke Millwall, and Sunderland 0 Coventry 1. We shall actually, I think, the question is, do I keep it on or do I turn it off? I think we're going to just go for a coffee, and we shall come back. See you in a bit. It's a new computer, so it should not do what the last one did and find that its memory is totally gone and kick me off. We should see you in about 10 minutes. Ouch, legs. And we'll see you for the second half. We shall see you for the second half. No, we lost 2-1. Oh, well, let's have. Well, we're going to actually have a go. I don't mind nobody being here. I can talk to myself all day. Probably will. Thanks to Martin for joining us. He's over there with all those Filipino women. We're actually going to go through and let's go for the Leeds one. The stats on that: 9 shots to Leeds, 4 on target, 4 goals. Ipswich, 2 shots, none on target, obviously no goals. And possession, not bad, 55% to Leeds. So it wasn't as bad as it looked. We have half-time at Blackburn. Blackburn still leading by 1-0. 5 shots to Blackburn and 6 to Watford. But all Watford shots were off target. 2 shots of Blackburn's on target. So they've shot twice against goal and got 1 in, which is basically that's the only difference. Possession 51% to Blackburn. 6 shots against goal, 6 shots for Watford, but none on target. And then we go to Leicester City. So stats, we have no shots on goal for Rotherham, 29% possession for Rotherham, 71% possession for Leicester, 9 shots, 3 on target, 3 off target, and 3 blocked. So, wow. The fact that it's 3 blocked just says everything, doesn't it? Then we have Borough West Brom, 48% Borough, 52% West Brom. 5 shots, 2 on target for Borough, 4 shots, 1 on target for West Brom. So I'll go out of that one. Interesting one is this one, which is Norwich versus Huddersfield, because everybody's thinking that it would be a very sturdy defence by Huddersfield. So there'll be lots of shots, but not many goals for Norwich. And it's 62% possession for Norwich, as we would expect. 9 shots on goal for Norwich, only 1 on target, probably because their defence will be pushing them back, so they're having to do long shots. Certainly 5, 1 on target, 5 not on target, 3 blocked. So you can see by that they're Huddersfield, 2 shots, none on target, 1 off target, 1 blocked. So Huddersfield are doing the defensive actions quite a treat. Bottom. And we have Plymouth 1, Birmingham 2. Wow, 60% possession to Plymouth, 40 to Birmingham. Plymouth 6 shots, 3 on target, 2 off target, 1 blocked. Birmingham 9 on target, 9 shots, 4 on target, 3 off, 2 blocked. So they are shooting more. They are getting more on target, but they haven't got as much possession, but they are actually winning. QPR versus Southampton. QPR 37% possession, Southampton 63. 4 shots for QPR, 1 on target. 5 shots for Southampton, 1 on target. Blimey, Southampton have had 3 shots blocked, which shows you that the QPR defence are just encamped on that back line. Sheffield Wednesday, 61% possession for Sheffield Wednesday, 39% for Cardiff, 5 shots on target, 5 shots for Wednesday, 1 on target, 1 goal. It's a difference, isn't it? Total shots for Cardiff, 2, none on target. That just shows you everything, doesn't it? Stoke Millwall, which sounds quite boring. It's roughly 50-50. 51% to Stoke possession. 3 shots for Stoke, 1 on target. 1 shot for Millwall, none on target. And finally, Sunderland versus Coventry. Now, this should be quite interesting. They brought it back. Coventry have actually started to grab because Sunderland were about 61% possession. It's finished at half time, 53% possession to Sunderland, 47 to Coventry, which means that it was almost entirely Coventry in those last few minutes. 7 shots each. The difference being that Sunderland have got 1 on target and no goals, and Coventry have got 3 on target and 1 goal. And that's it. Clear-cut chances, just 1 to Coventry. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto on 45 minutes plus 1 for Coventry. So that's that's the state of play in the Championship. And just having a quick look to see if nobody's started on the Sky app. Let's see what we have on on Bet365. Oh, put my coffee down. What do we have here? We have Forest are down to 10 men, and none of the Premiership games have started for the second half. We've got Luton in the lead, 1-0 at home to Newcastle. Tottenham 2, Everton 0. And we have the Rotherham games started. QPR's games started. So we can go to... Let's go to the QPR game. So the QPR game and the Southampton are in defence. Southampton are just passing it around at the back. They're 1-0 up. They don't really need to be doing too much with it. So Southampton are busy trying to find a way, busy trying not to do that and lose the ball in defence. But they got it back. And he gently passes it over the line and out for a bounces off some QPR throw in. So QPR is, they're passing it along midfield. Where are they going to take it? They're on the left side of their midfield. Jimmy Dunn and he pushes it forward, but it's offside. So Southampton rebuild. Oh, but they lose it to Pal in their own final third, and he's busy trying to pass it, but he knocks it out, and it's a Southampton throw-in. So at the minute, Southampton are actually finding it rather difficult. I would say that in that game, at least, you have QPR on a slight ascendancy. They're 14-1 again. So I mean, you wouldn't bet against them if you were actually looking at the way they're playing there. Certainly, I don't know, that's 2.5 minutes, and QPR, 2.5 minutes, and Southampton have had the ball most of the time, but it's not come out of Southampton's half. So actually, doing rather well. Rotherham lose it in their own half, which is not surprising. Madvedidi, Dewsbury Hall tries to push it. Lembikisa grabs it, gives it back to Dewsbury Hall, who has a nice free shot on goal. Not going in the net, that one, but will it? No, he has a second shot as it rebounds towards him, and that one also sort of rebounds sideways. Is it going to get back to him again? Why don't we give him 3 shots on goal? Pass it back to him again, Rotherham's just... Victor's grabbed the ball. He's not grabbed it. He's actually got it at his feet in front of his goal. Can he belt it out as far as he can? The answer is no. He's going to try and dribble the fucking thing. And then pass it to Revan, who loses it to Fatawu. Oh, sure. Fuck me. How's he not score that one? Daka from about, X yards out. I mean, single figures. Skies it. And it's just all Leicester City. All Leicester City at the minute. This is not going to finish 0-0. This is definitely not going to finish 0-0. Mavadidi has a go. He has a shot. Right, Nombe kicks it as far as he can. It doesn't even get to halfway line. Pereira's now got it on halfway. And the question is, what does a side like Leicester City do when they've got the ball? Direct passing down the middle to try and get through the middle. Loses it, grabs it back. What's he going to do this time? Oh, this time he passes it backwards to Winks and down the right-hand side to Fatawu. He needs to cross it in, which he does, but Adofin grabs it, runs with it into the corner. Don't give them a corner. Kick it to a throw-in if you want, but don't give it to a corner. I think he's given a corner. Oh, looks like it's a gun. No, he's passed it inwards to Lembikisa. Why would you pass it towards your own fucking goal? And he loses it to Winks, which is Pereira. And they're trying their best here. Ogdofi and Hugill. Oh, Jesus, Madvedidi. And they're all in the the entirety of Rotherham's players are in the box. Even Rathbone and Hugill are in the box. So here we are. Leicester City throw in on their right-hand side. And we'll just see where this goes. Before we... tight little triangles around the right-hand side, around their right-hand side. They're just keeping it from the Rotherham players. And, cross it to the left to try and pull the Rotherham players over to the right. Crosses it to the left, gets the space. And Leicester City are found offside. So that was a most obvious way of doing it. Nottingham Forest, 10-man Nottingham Forest are now 1-0 up at home to Bournemouth. Burnley are now 1-0 up away to Fulham. Norwich are now 1-0 up at home to Huddersfield. Everybody else is the same. Blackpool 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Bolton 3, Leyton Orient 0. Leyton Orient seem to have settled their defence down a little bit. A lot. And what do we have? We have 52 minutes. The one that's going to be worse is that one. 46 minutes gone to Plymouth. I'm just astonished at the amount of... I'll take the power cord off that now. So we can lay back and I can watch the screen. If anybody wants to join in, then please do. If you don't, then tough. But, we're still going to go along and we're still going to enjoy the day, even if Rotherham are going to lose. Well, as I do that, the odds disappear for the Plymouth game. Let's try and go to the Plymouth game. Well, Plymouth have the ball. And that's not looking too good. That usually means that there's been a foul. How very odd. Now, there's something happened there. Red card for Birmingham. Birmingham have a red card. And I said there's something has to have been amiss there, because the odds don't disappear like that. So, but Plymouth have done that a couple of times, twice in the last 3 games. Dove on the floor and ended up giving a red card to the opposition. So I wonder whether that's what's happened there. So, but let's see who has the red card, if it's going to show me. I'm going to guess Stansfield, which would be quite a... If it's a 2 yellow, it's Stansfield. If it's for 2 yellows, it's Stansfield, which is going to be a bit of a bind for them. No, it isn't. It's a straight red for Bellick. So Bellick has got a red, which is interesting. It's now Nottingham Forest 1, Bournemouth 1. So 10-man Forest have just let one in. Any other goals in the Championship? Norwich 1, Huddersfield 0. They've now swapped the odds to evens for Birmingham and 3-1 for Plymouth, as Plymouth go 2-1 down at home, but they've just Birmingham have just gone down to 10 men. So we are, keep a quick look on that in case anybody does join us. Blackburn 1, Watford 0, Leicester City 0, Rotherham 0. Is that the only 0-0. No, Stoke 0, Millwall 0. So there's 2 0-0s in the Championship so far. The game in League One, which looked like being a walkover, has just dried up after 15 minutes. 3-0 to Bolton Wanderers over Leyton Orient after 15 minutes, but now it's still 3-0 after 52. So, well, Leyton Orient have tidied up at the back. We are. Burnley are winning at Fulham. Luton are winning at home to Newcastle. Tottenham are winning 2-0 at home to Everton. And what does that put Everton? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the table. Puts Everton on 16 points in 16th. I'm still not massively out of it, but I think there'd certainly have to be a renaissance of form by the bottom 4 or 5 teams, wouldn't there? We are in the 55th minute with most games, apart from, like I say, in fact, we're on 58 minutes at QPR. We're at 52 minutes at Plymouth. Both cases, we have the away team winning. Southampton 1-0 away to QPR. Birmingham 2-1 away at Plymouth. So Birmingham is starting to win now. They're starting to pull 1 or 2 wins out of the bag. Will Shrek turn his side's form around? Birmingham are still 2-1 up with 10 men. Stoke 0, Millwall 0. Dink. Surprisingly, still Leicester City 0, Rotherham 0. I'm not holding my breath. So it's getting a little bit quiet again now. It was quiet at the start. It's quiet again now. We've still got QPR losing at home. Sheffield Wednesday. Let's have a look at Sheffield Wednesday. We had a look at those earlier on. Cardiff were starting to just try and feed those balls down the side, although it's still 60% possession for Sheffield Wednesday. But Cardiff have the ball on their right-hand side. Belts it forward. Why do you do that? Oh, no, they're not playing the long ball, or they'll not do very well against Sheffield Wednesday if they do that. So it looks like Cardiff have stopped threading the ball through and started to welly it forward instead. Long and hard over the top. Not particularly keen on that sort of football. Wednesday are. They're really good at it. So if you're trying to play Wednesday at their own game, that's a League One style that they are very, very good at. You will not do it. It looks like Wednesday. Another shot on goal for Wednesday. Cardiff have it in their own box. Try and feed it up their right-hand side with Ahern Grant, who tries to grab the ball on the right-hand side, feeds it backwards or runs backwards with it, rather. Why would run back and hit it off one of the Wednesday players for a throw-in? I'm not quite sure about Cardiff's. They were actually playing quite well in the at the end of the first half when they started to try and thread the ball through. It was actually, and Leicester City have scored against Rotherham, so that's probably where that one's going to finish. And we are now in the last 30 minutes of the games. We'll carry on. Rotherham are going to get trounced now, I think. They'll just collapse. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 0, Stoke 0, Millwall 0 is the only 0-0 we've got. Sunderland 0, Coventry 1. Luton versus Newcastle. Let's go to that. It's 1-1, but it's offside. It's been ruled offside. I think Newcastle must have had it in the net because all the odds went. So it's still nil. It's still 1-1. Newcastle, I think, had it in the net. Foresters are losing 2-1 at home. 10-man anyway. Rotherham losing away at Leicester. Watford losing away at Blackburn. Birmingham winning, 10-man Birmingham winning away at Plymouth. Huddersfield are losing away at Norwich. Choose the away teams, why not? We are interesting. Daka. I'm on the Leicester game, but all the odds have disappeared, but Rotherham have the ball. So it's very odd. Yellow card to Rotherham. Right. Okay, so we have the ball and we get a yellow card. Right. I'm not quite sure how that works. Leicester penalty. Oh, brilliant. That's just... Hang on. We have the ball and then it gives a penalty to... Oh, right. Okay, forget that. So Birmingham are winning 2-1 still at Plymouth. Ding, ding. Cardiff are trying their best, but not very well away at West Sheffield Wednesday. Seems to be a good revival. I mean, I'm not a fan of Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, I'm a Rotherham fan, but Wednesday appear to have got a renaissance going down there, don't they? It's going to be interesting to see who the bottom three are. It's going to be Rotherham, but it's a case of which two go down with them. I would still say that, I think Huddersfield might drop into it, and I think it's going to be a case of QPR or Wednesday, and I think Wednesday are more likely to nibble away those points like they are now. I think that we'll see Wednesday with the majority of those odd wins, and we'll see a fair amount of points, just enough to get them out of the bottom three, I think. But yeah, I think we are seeing a decent Cardiff side being put to the racks. Actually, I don't really see them getting past probably about 40% way down or 60% way down the pitch, and then they just stop. They just don't go any further. So that's another one. Leicester City now 2-0 up at home to Rotherham. So Rotherham haven't won for about 18 months now. They're will they make it 2 years? Will they make it 2 years? I wouldn't have thought so. They'll be in League One next year, so it'll be they must be able to win someone in League One away from home, wouldn't they? I mean, really? Surely. So we are in the 66th minute in our games, except for Plymouth, which is in our 61st minute. So we won't be seeing the end of that one because they just kicking the ball out and hoping for the best. Oh, Bolton were 3-0 up after about 15 minutes. They're now 3-2 up. So Leyton Orient to pull 2 back. And we are seeing a bit of a mini renaissance by Leyton Orient over there. So let's have a look at the lineups for... Oh, it was Johansson who fouled somebody in the box. Oh, great. The goalie fouled somebody in the box. Brilliant. That's good. Dear. We'll forgive him, I think. So Burnley are now 2-0 up away at Fulham. Bournemouth are 2-1 up away at 10-man Forest. Luton are still 1-0 up at Newcastle. And Everton are losing 2-0 at Tottenham. It's Plymouth 1, Birmingham 3. Plymouth 1, Birmingham 3. The Stoke City game is still a bore draw. The Red Devils of Cardiff are now in defence and trying to build up the middle. Periangi, Akete, Maite, can they get it in? No, they can't. They lose it in the final third. But get it back through Periangi, Etete. Can he get it back in this time? No, he loses it to Volks. So Wintle gets it back. Can he get it into the box for Cardiff? I think I've missed Periangi out at this point because he keeps losing it. Nope, forget it. That game is only going one way. I think we've got several games only going one way here. We've got the Leicester City 2, Rotherham 0. That's only going one way. I think we've now can assume Plymouth 1, Birmingham 3 is only going one way. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 0 doesn't look like going any other way. Sunderland 0, Coventry 2. I'd be surprised if Sunderland got anything out of that in 23 minutes. So we are. I mean, can the others? Like Bolton 3, Leyton Orient 2. I keep going down to that and having a quick look just to see how it's going. Look, Reading 2, Wigan 0. Good for Rotherham because they will obviously be playing them next year. Barnsley 1, Stevenage 1, which of course is a battle of the top 6 or 7, isn't it? We are quiet. We are going quiet. Wow. It really has gone quiet. It really has gone quiet. I can't believe how quiet it's gone. Well, 68 minutes for most of them. I think we are. I've got Forest. Oh no, it's just gone off. Forest 1, Bournemouth 2. And what minute are we on? 65. So yellow card to Semenyo of Bournemouth. Right, okay. Well, they just held the odds back for a second because of a yellow card to Bournemouth. Leicester City are now 3-0 up against Rotherham. So that's all done and dusted, isn't it? Couldn't win away if they tried, which they don't. Sheffield Wednesday are winning at home to Cardiff. Puts them 5 points ahead of Rotherham. And I think we are basically out of it, guys. I think we're not an awful lot in it. I think that there's a few games in there that look like does look like it doesn't look like there's going to be much of a Cardiff actually had a shot on goal then. So Burnley still 2-0 up, Luton still 1-0 up, Bournemouth still 2-1 up, Tottenham 2, Everton 0, Blackburn 1, Watford 0, Leicester City 3, Rotherham United 0. I've just seen another goal go in further down. Middlesbrough 1, West Brom, another one's gone in. West Brom 0. Norwich now 2-0 at home to Huddersfield. Plymouth are now 2-3 down at home to Birmingham. So will 10-man Birmingham get that win, or will they capitulate to Plymouth's amazing run of form at home? Everywhere else, Sunderland 0, Coventry 3, QPR 0, Southampton 1, Stoke 0, Millwall 0, and Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 0. So we are realistically, a goal at Sheffield, and it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff City 1. From nowhere, we get a goal for Cardiff City. Interested in the Plymouth. They haven't put the odds back on the Plymouth game yet. But Plymouth are in the attack. Randall on the right-hand side, and he'll cross it in. He whips it across. As a go, but Ruddy blocks it, grabs it, whatever. It's a case of will he get it out or will Plymouth take it from him in the goal area? Passes it out, wellies it forward for Gibson to kick it out for some strange reason. So it's it's actually not all over at Plymouth. It is all over at Leicester, and I think it's now all over at Norwich. And it's definitely all over at Sunderland. Sunderland 0, Coventry 3. So I think we are seeing at the minute probably one or two more goals, but I don't think there's going to be much changing in the Championship. I say in the Championship, quickly change it there because it's 10-man Nottingham Forest have just scored. It's now 2-2 with Bournemouth. So 2-2 with Bournemouth. And we are motoring. The only game without a goal is my friend Martin from earlier. Stoke City 0, Millwall 0. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the Leicester game. Why not? Let's have a look. Huggill's off. Numbe's on. Kelly and Eves. So we're going to Kelly and Eves on for 69 minutes. All we've done is just change the front two. So 69. Oh, crap. Put the times on. 10 minutes. So it doesn't look great for Rotherham. 20 minutes, they could still score a couple, but I don't think they will. So here we are. Not a lot going on at the minute. Not a lot going on. Oh, just watching Leicester City. Rotherham got a throw in, so they get a throw in. They give it straight to the Leicester City guy, take it off him, and then kick it out for a Leicester City throw in. Just typical Rotherham, isn't it? Teams like Rotherham. Sunderland are still losing 3-0 at home. Stoke 0, Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 1. With Cardiff trying to put up a good defence now, which is now that they've got the goal to equalise, Cardiff do seem to be putting up a little bit more defence. Have they given up on the win and wanting the 1 point? Wednesday have a throw in. They can throw that right almost into the middle of the box, but from there probably just about get it into the box from there. When they can be asked to throw it straight in the middle, and Etet gets it and loses it to Bannon, who wellies it in on target as well. Blimey, Olmlick, Gutas, Cardiff are now trying to break Etete forward. Tete, middle of the box, middle of the centre, Wintle, around the middle of the forward. Offside for Cardiff. They were really trying to use that. But Volks quickly takes the offside kick, and it goes back into Cardiff's defence for Rolls. And what's going to happen here? Maite, and he loses it to Bannon. Loses it to Gutas. Grant loses it to Volks, who loses it to Garant, who gives it to Rolls. Cardiff are now to less of the ping pong, please. I don't like the ping pong. Ping pong football is really garbage, isn't it? But at the minute, it looks like Cardiff are they've gone back to that silly belting it forward. And I don't know, I'm not sure that they'll do anything with a belting it forward, but I've just heard the bingo. I'm just thinking. Think. Nope. Think. 3-0. Still 3-0 at Leicester. Still 1-0 at home with Borough. 2-0 at home Norwich. 2-3 Plymouth to Birmingham. And Rotherham actually had an attack. And they actually had a shot. My God. Rotherham have actually had a shot. Can't believe it. So we have Tottenham are still 2-0 up at home to Everton. Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 2, Luton 1, Newcastle 0. Fulham 0, Burnley 2. Blackburn still got 1-0 goal lead from the first half. Rotherham losing 3-0 away to Leicester. Any other interesting scores? Bottom Sunderland 0, Coventry 3. Probably the most interesting game. We'll go to that one. The Plymouth 2, Birmingham 3. So we are only in the 78th minute down there. And there's probably going to be at least 8 or 9 minutes extra time at the end of this. Probably guarantee. Birmingham caught offside. They are still doing their best to keep on hold of this this narrow lead. Plymouth have the throw in. That's going to go straight in the box, isn't it? That's going to go straight in the box. Plymouth on their right hand side. Throw into the box. Come on. They don't. They throw it short. Randall, Hayden, back to Morgan Whittaker. That's interesting. Place for him. Wayne, and can he? No, he passes it back to Gibson. See, they're just taking their time. They'd rather have the possession. And if they don't get possession, they welly it out, which is why they have so many minutes of extra time down there. Hayden. And he loses it to Bakuna. Janino. Burke. And Burke is a Burke and loses it to Houghton. And it goes round again. So that's basically the Plymouth game. Plymouth game is... It's actually Tottenham 2, Everton 1. Can Everton get back in it? 7 minutes to get back in it. Blackburn 1, Watford 1. So goal there. Norwich 2, Huddersfield 0. That is definitely, it looks like a definite 0-0 at Stoke, doesn't it? Stoke 0, Millwall 0. Doesn't look too great. We get a Wednesday game again. I keep going to the Wednesday game because it's one of those games where Cardiff were trying to do something by doing the long ball. Wednesday are very good at the long ball. They're very good at defending it. They're very good at doing it. If you try playing them at their own game, you've really got to be good at it to do that. Just looking at the Middlesbrough game, it was Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 0. So we'll just keep a thought on. In fact, we'll go to that one. Middlesbrough 1. Why have the odds disappeared? Oh, now back on. Let's have a look. So we're on 89th minute. So it would have been 80. Oh. Okay, so it's realistically a yellow card to West Brom, 80 minutes, which would have been when? That's 7 minutes ago, so no, I don't know why that happened. So we'll go in. Let's go to Stoke. I've not been on the Stoke game for a while, so we'll go to the Stoke game. Joe Bryant, well is it? Loses it straight in the middle. I don't know why they do long passes and against good teams like Stoke. You have to try and build it up and try and get round them like they did there and crossed it in, but Bonham gets it for Stoke. Oh, I know. Well, is it out to Baker? There we are. I wonder what he was going to do with the ball then. It was like, well, are you going to do something with it? Fulham 0, Burnley 2. Forest 2, Bournemouth 2, Leicester 3, Rotherham 0. Ooh, QPR 0, Southampton 1, and Southampton have a red card. Reds around here. Could do with Middlesbrough again, red, so we're pretty close to the end, and I think we are going to be. Oh, Watford have just got the lead. Now Blackburn 1, Watford 2. And Blackburn 1, Watford 2. Let's see who Southampton's red card's for. Southampton's red card is, not showing. Oh, it is. Charles has got, it looks like he's got a second yellow, to be honest. Nothing in the Premiership of any interest. Cardiff have scored against Sheffield Wednesday. That is just one of those. I really didn't think they'd be doing that, but they appear to have won the day with 88 minutes gone. I'm going to have to call it because I do need to do something. And anyway, nobody's on, so we will call it and we'll end it. And we had a visitor. That's good enough for me.